Well, welcome back, my friends. We're already laughing and having a good time before this video even started. Welcome back to the free video series, Where to Focus Your Time, Energy, and Money to Create a Successful Online Course, regardless if you're just getting started, a seasoned pro, or somewhere in between. I am DSG, and I'm along with Coach Marilyn. Hello, Coach Marilyn. How are you?
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Ready for video number 2. Okay, so first of all, tisk tisk, if you skip the first video, the 3 stages
Mm.
of an online course and how to know which stage you're currently at, shame. No, I'm just kidding. Go back, watch it, get some context here for this video, which is video number 2, because today we're going to be doing a breakdown maximizing stage number 1 of your online course journey. Okay, so here's a quick reminder. This is the refresher, Marilyn, section
Mhm.
of this video. Really fast is that we've got 3 stages: the starter stage, the pre-launch and launch stage, and we've got the post-launch stage, right? So
Yep.
today we're going to focus on the starter stage. Now, as a reminder, if you don't want to listen to us and instead you're like, I skipped the first video completely, I'm a bad boy or girl, right? Quick reminder, I'm David Garland. That's me on the left, and I'm the creator of Create Awesome Online Courses and the Rise to the Top, and creating online courses since 2010, and been teaching people how to do them since all the way back in 2013 with students all over the world, about 6,000 now students, and that's my 5-second synopsis on one energy drink. Marilyn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
And I'm Marilyn with an E, and I'm based in Sydney, Australia, and I help David facilitate all things coaching. So buckets of years, decades of coaching experience. And I started out a few years ago as a student of David's, learning all about online courses, and got a lot of success there, jumped on board to help coach, and here we are today.
So now we're the 1-2 punch coming at you from literally opposite sides of the world. Okay, so
Literally.
let's get let's get right into this first stage. Okay, so I'm gonna I think a good exercise here is I'm gonna kind of read some of the content, go through some of the content, and Marilyn, you add some color into this as we go through this as well, and your amazing coaching ability. Okay, so
Sure.
the first thing to think about, and people skip this. People like to dive right in. There's some people that like to read the instruction manual. There's some people that like to dive right in. There's some people that like to skip ahead, right? We're really going to be talking about the foundation here because this is where people really, really get stuck, okay? Especially in this first stage, okay? You don't want to just start willy-nilly throwing stuff together and spaghetti at the wall, all that kind of stuff. Here's some things to think about, okay? What is my course topic? Who is my audience? And those are 2 things to really think about to start, right? What is my course topic and who is my audience? Okay. Now, is your course topic based on 1 or 2 of these things? It can either be based on personal experience. So meaning, Marilyn, give me a random topic right on the spot here.
Softball coaching.
All right, softball coaching, okay? So you could say, listen, I'm a softball coach. I've been coaching softball for 20 years, and now I'm going to break this down on how you could become a better softball coach, right? That would
Yes.
be personal experience, okay? Or you could be something that you've helped others. So you say, hey, listen, I've helped 30 softball coaches through my coaching program or whatever else you have before an online course, right? Become better coaches. Even that's a mouthful right there. You get the idea. Maybe I help people one-on-one. Maybe I help people in a small group setting. And now I'm turning that expertise into an online course. Does that make sense, Marilyn, how to break that down? It's either based on personal experience, helping others, or both?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, what's nice though about this is that you don't have to have all that, right? A lot of people that we've seen thousands of students, right? Some start from that personal experience. They've never coached someone on their topic. They've just done it, right? And we teach them how to do that. That's totally cool. Others have taught in a different setting. Maybe it's even offline or whatever it might be. And they're saying, hey, I want to bring this online. Either way is great, okay? Then the second one, and this is the big one, and this is where people forget at the beginning, who is your ideal audience, customer, tribe? I mean, really dive in here in terms of who your audience is for your online course. Now, I'm gonna give some examples here, but Marilyn, where do you see people kind of stumble when it comes to this, especially when they're starting out and thinking about audience?
Definitely. And no matter how much we say it, people think, oh, look, everyone wants what I've got to do or I've got
Mhm.
to teach. And so they think the more the merrier, when in actual fact, it doesn't work that way in doing an online business. Yes, when you're a multimillionaire and you've got millions and millions on your list, that might be different. But when you're starting out, it's really good for you to be focused on who you're targeting, because then you're making it absolutely specific and makes marketing a whole lot easier. It
Right.
actually
You want
makes writing the course or creating the course a whole lot easier as well.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started teaching this many years ago, my first thought was, boy, this just makes it, easier from every extent. And
Mm,
something we learned over the years for sure is not only does it make it easier to create the
mm,
course and make something amazing, but it really, just what you just said there, the M word, Marilyn, is marketing.
mm,
It makes it so much simpler when you're so specific, where people are like, this is either yes, 100% me, or 0% me. You're not
yeah.
50-50 or not, oh, this might be me, this might not be me. That's not where you want to live. You don't want to live in that zone, right? So let me show you some
Mm,
examples from students. These are actual examples. These are not things that we just made up out of thin air, okay? So here's one from Rachel Bowman, one of our students. She teaches people who do aerial silks. Now, if you don't know what aerial silks are, don't worry. Aerial silks, think Cirque du Soleil up in the sky. So flying around and doing
mm,
spins and stuff like that, right? She teaches people who do aerial silks and want to learn advanced techniques. I mean, how more
mm,
specific can you get that? You either do the aerial silks or you don't, right? When it comes to the
yeah,
marketing, when it comes to the
yeah.
course. How about this one? We have another student that helps children's book authors who want to sell more books. So, I mean, that's another good one, Marilyn, because you're either a children's book author or you're not, right?
Yeah.
When it
And
comes to that.
this is specific because you might be able to teach children's book or people how to write a children's book,
Mhm.
but that's not the audience here. It's people who already have a book, how to sell more.
Right, and that's a great tip, Marilyn, that I can even expand upon in a second, because exactly, middle-aged adults who want to learn how to play the clarinet. That's another one of our amazing students who is very specific on both an age group and the topic. And Marilyn, you hit on something very important there. I like to call that the sort of spectrum of where your ideal customer is at in their journey, right? So using the
Mm,
children's book authors as an example, that you might want to target people that have a children's book in their head. They're thinking about doing one, but they haven't written the book. That's one
yeah,
audience, right?
yeah.
The people that need to write the book. A second
Mm,
audience will be the people that have written the book and need to sell it. Right. So
mhm,
those are things to think about as you get, where is this person? Is this person, if I'm teaching podcasting, does this person have a podcast or do they need to create one? Are they trying to grow
mm.
one? Are they trying to monetize one? These are the questions you need to ask. That was a very astute comment, Marilyn, for sure. Now here's a key one, and Marilyn, you've seen this from coaching a lot of our students here. Second thing to think about: do people spend money to solve this problem or further the ambition? Right? Because some courses they solve a problem, some further an ambition. Right? Like so, for example, like clarinet, you could say the problem is I don't know how to play clarinet, right? And I want to learn how to do it. But you could also say, hey, one of my dreams is to learn how to
Yeah,
play the clarinet. One of
yeah.
the things I'd love to do is play the clarinet and impress all the people at my next dinner party, right? So,
Mm.
but the question is spending money, Marilyn, because I'm sure you've seen people that have come in, maybe the topic's okay, but people don't spend any money on it.
Yeah, it depends. Look, honestly, it can be a really good sign if people are already spending money, and
Mm-hmm.
often people new at this game they'll go, oh, there's already competition out there. But I think no, that means people are already spending. However, there's still scope if people aren't already, spending money on it to a degree.
Right. And I think it comes down to this. Listen, the first thing you need to take a look at is, are people opening their pocketbooks to do something related to this
Mm,
topic, right?
yeah.
So meaning like, even if they're not, let's say, buying clarinet lessons right now, you could go out. Are they buying clarinet? So they buying one-on-one personal lessons in person? Are they going to clarinet events? Are there
Or
other
books.
ways of spending money? Now, it's not to say that you can't create a market from scratch, right?
Mm,
But it's a lot easier to enter a market where people are already spending money. Okay,
mm,
that's the second thing to think about for sure, right? Now, the third thing, now this is the big one. Okay, how am I going to build my email list and audience. So if you're starting from scratch here, right, you've got, as they say, I think they say this in poker, you've got just a chip and a chair. That's all you got, right? You're ready to go. You want to start by thinking about building an email list, okay? Now, compared to every other thing out there, all the social media sites, those are all great. We'll talk about those coming up, right? All the different stuff that's going on. But at the end of the day, the email list is the only thing that you fully control and own, right?
Yes.
So let's say Marilyn has this great Facebook group, Marilyn, and we love Facebook groups. Facebook groups are awesome. But what would happen, Marilyn, tomorrow if Mark Zuckerberg pulled the plug on all our groups? What would happen?
Gone.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that this last night. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we rely on these platforms that we have no control over.
exactly. And that's the challenge, right? So when you want to be thinking about building an audience, the first thing that should come to your mind is that the end goal, okay, besides eventually selling your course, is you want these people on your email list. Because then if Instagram disappears, or if Facebook disappears, or if YouTube disappears, or if this or that disappears, you've got the one thing that you can control, and that's direct communication with people on your email list, okay? And it's, by the way, not to say social media sites aren't important. We'll talk about that here in a second, right? So the basic focus when building your audience and email list, I'm just giving you this 10-second tutorial here, is you want to start with what's called a lead magnet. Okay, a lead magnet. Here's an example of a lead magnet from Jeff. He's one of our students. It's a really, I love this topic because Jeff took something very unsexy and made it, well, I don't want to say sexy, but he made it a very nice business, right?
Yeah.
He's all about making bathroom remodeling easy. Okay, so what you do here on this page, on this landing page, that's what it's called as the landing page, is that if you get to this page, there's Jeff, there's his business partner. Here's a free guide to remodeling a bathroom in 10 days or less, and a couple bonus videos. You click this pink thing, and then you're going to get the guide. You enter your email. Your email is currency. Now you're on Jeff's email list. Now, Marilyn, do you want to add anything there into the very, we're talking bare bones basics of a lead magnet. Now, the lead magnet has to be related to your course, for sure.
Yeah, other people like to maybe call it a freebie. It's some way of people starting on that relationship journey with you. It's that know, like, and trust factor. And honestly, I see so many people starting out in this arena that they go straight for the course. It's all about the course. It's all about the course. And this is I think the number one thing, number one part of the starter. And I don't think you've started your online courses businesses until you get your email list starting to grow.
Right, and this is where you're going to drive all the traffic to this, and you're going to start to build a relationship with people. Now let's talk about traffic, and we're just going to spend a minute or two on this, right? On traffic. This is where people also get into trouble. They think, okay, I know I'm gonna create my course on topic X. Great, I'm going to create a lead magnet. I'm going to create a free guide or a free giveaway that's going to attract people into my world, into my email list, okay? Now I need to get people's eyeballs on it. Nobody knows me. Let's just use that as an example, right? What do I do? And where I see people run into trouble here, we'll talk more about this later, is they try everything. They'll start a podcast, they'll have a YouTube channel, Instagram, Dinstagram, all these different things. And what ends up happening is they don't get any traction. They don't get any traction because it's hard. You can't be in a million different places at once and really grow your business, right? Especially when you're starting out, Marilyn. A lot of times it's just you, right?
Yeah,
you might not have a team,
You won't be able to sustain it over the long haul, and that's the thing. We're teaching you here how to build a business over the long haul, not a flash in a plan, viral thing. You've got to be able to keep up with it, and it's exhausting trying to keep all up with it.
Yeah, and you can't do it. You're just not going to get a lot. You're just going to be planting stuff all over the world, and who knows what's going to happen. So I'm going to give you a very concrete strategy here, and that is that you want to choose one or two traffic sources maximum to focus on, okay? And then I'm going to give you a very concrete goal: 1,000 email subscribers, okay? Now, have we had people launch courses with less than that? Yes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I like to have that goal of 1,000 because 1,000 gets you, we talked about this in the first video, Marilyn, it gets you some data, it gets you some real numbers coming in. So your goal should be 1,000 email subscribers, all driving traffic to that landing page, okay? Now, how do you do that traffic? Here's some strategies that work. There's a lot of strategies out there that work, all right? Facebook groups, Facebook ads, in-person list building, live streaming, YouTube, giveaways, meetups, Pinterest, LinkedIn, guest posts and testimonials, Instagram, ebooks, and Amazon Kindle, to name a few, right? But here's the thing, one or two. Now, when you're helping, Marilyn, give us just a brief thing. When you're helping a student decide, right? Some people, they know exactly what they want to go for a traffic strategy. Some people, they're trying to maybe figure it out. What's any quick guidance you give to someone that says, okay, all things being equal, which one should I go after?
Very easy answer to that is choose one paid and one organic or free.
Ooh, I like
And
that.
people normally shy away from paid, but look, if you're going to build a business, you've got to do it. I kind of say, look, you pay electricity for your house, you buy a microphone, you buy a desk, you buy all these things for your office. Advertising is just part of one of those expense lines on your business.
Yeah, and definitely, and by the way, some people are a little gun shy on advertising, which is totally fine. It's not required, right? But
No,
it can definitely exponentially increase your speed on how you go.
absolutely.
So that's a great point, Marilyn. Like choosing one or the other, one that's kind of a longer
Yep.
tail, takes a little time, and one that's a little faster, shorter. So I mean, that's a
Yep.
great strategy. And also keeping in mind, of course, where does your audience like to hang out? Do you know what I mean? Are they more of an Instagram crowd or a Facebook crowd? Are they more of this or that? And also, what are you comfortable with?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Are you more of a oh boy, I'd love to do a audio, or I'm more comfortable on video. I'd love to do YouTube and get immersed in that community. Combining those two things is how you do it. The key though, remember, these are not set in stone for the rest of your life, but this is going to get us to 1,000. That's our first goal that we're going to knock off when it comes to these traffic strategies. Okay. And then this is what you do. You pick one or two. This is now your focus. This becomes your world, building your audience, the correct audience, and that relationship with them. Because these are real people. These are not just numbers on a page. Yes, we're talking about 1,000, but we're talking about 1,000 real people that you're going to build a relationship with. They're going to get to know you. You're going to get to know them. And that's the key of this stage to focus on in stage number 1. Okay? Now, I promise in each video here, we're going to go through some things to avoid each stage, the pitfalls, the challenges, different things, not necessarily a challenge, challenges we roll through, but pitfalls, right? The first thing to do, I mentioned this one earlier, is just avoid diving in and building a random audience, not being sure of your topic, just kind of, what is it they say, like ready, fire, aim or something like that? I've heard that one before. You want to make sure that you really I'm not saying spend months and months and months on this. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is spending a little bit of time to really focus down on who you're going to go after before you go after them, right? Who's going to be in your tribe and who is this audience, okay? Yeah. Now, this is another thing that happens, and Marilyn, you face this all the time coaching our students, right? Worrying about things that aren't relevant. So meaning things way down the line. Like someone is just starting to build their business, Marilyn, how many times you've heard this one, and they're like worried about, what if someone asks for a refund for my course? Or how do I make my course on autopilot for 24/7? I mean, that's definitely something way later down the line. What do you say to people when they start to kind of stray from the path, especially early on?
Yeah, I just say get back to focus. And look, if you've got a coach that really helps because they get you straight. Often they're just distracted. They're just full of like fear and like, oh, I've got to get everything perfect. So it's amazing how clever our brain can distract us from what we need to focus on now.
Very, very true. And that's, we like to help avoid those rabbit holes, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is what you mentioned earlier, Marilyn, is that when people say, well, there's already other courses on my topic. Well, listen, I've got a fun fact for you. If there's already courses on your topic, that's a good thing. That means that there's a market. That means there's people buying. But guess what? Your course isn't out there with your personality, your face, your life experience, your way of teaching it, right? And you might even get more specific. That's one way to stick out from other courses. So for example, you wouldn't want to create a course, Marilyn, on general fitness because that, what does that mean? But now you see courses for, fitness for new moms. You see kettlebell training for dads over 50. Do you know what I mean? So getting more specific is a way that you can stick out from the pack, but don't be afraid of entering your voice into the conversation. I just feel like people
Yeah.
get worried about that. Yeah, Marilyn, were you going to add something?
Yeah. Look, absolutely. All the time I see this, and it builds with confidence over time. But you've got to realize that there are people out there who will buy from you and listen from you, who they won't from that next person, no matter how
Yep.
much more they may have been out there. Seriously. And that is very comforting. And it sort of lets you off the hook of sort of like, yeah, okay, there are people out there who are looking for someone just like me. That,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Your
they're more comfortable with me than someone else. And that's okay.
And if you look at any industry, not to add one more little caveat here, if you look at really any industry, you'll see a wide variety of
Yeah.
people that are teaching in that industry and are experts in that industry. You'll see all shapes, sizes, colors, backgrounds. You'll see a wide and personalities. You'll see some
Yeah.
people that are more introverted, that are just, this is bringing it out of them. And you don't have to be an extrovert to be this, right? You just have to play one on TV a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have extroverts. You've got people that are no nonsense, kind of like, kind of harsh, like coming right
Yeah.
at the point. You've got other people that are more lovey-dovey. You've got a whole mix of different personalities. So just don't be afraid of that, because this is more about you and how you teach the topic. Okay. Now, the other thing is not understanding the importance of and driving all your traffic to your email list, right? And understanding that the traffic sources, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, all that kind of stuff, those are traffic sources. In some cases, they can be great relationship builders. They're great things, okay? But they're not the end goal of building an email list, which is the one thing you control. That's something that I wish when I went back when I actually started my business many, many years ago, I didn't really understand that concept for a few years. And I think that kind of held me back. And I wish someone would have told me that way earlier on when it comes to building an email list. Now, another one is not adhering to DSG 5-to-1 rule. So this is my rule that that we put out there, and this is a good one, Marilyn. I know you've been talking about this with our coaching students as well. Is that whenever you create something, whether it's a Facebook ad, whether it's a video on YouTube, whether it's just a funny post on your Facebook wall, right? Whatever it might be, is where people get stuck in this mode is that they create, and then they don't promote, right? So one of my rules of thumb is that you want to spend 5 times as much time promoting it as you do creating it. So if you create it and it takes you an hour, yeah, it takes you an hour to promote. Let's see, it takes you an hour to create it, Marilyn. How much time should we be promoting on it?
Well, I'm not that good at math, so that would be 5 hours or
Yes,
4
yes,
hours.
you do. Yes, you did. I was told there'd be no math today, but guess what? We're slipping some in. And I think you see people do this too. They're so worried about when they're creating content or audience stuff that they forget to promote. I mean, and that's something that I think we can always remind people to do.
Absolutely.
Now,
I know when I started out, I didn't. It was all about creating this amazing course. And then I wondered why my first launch didn't go that badly, but it didn't go as well as, the expectations I had. Then suddenly I looked at my calendar and I realized, oh my gosh, there's no actually promotional marketing time in here. So instead of having sort of a half day, I devoted 3 days to it, and bam, big result.
And boom goes the dynamite. Boom goes the dynamite. It made me think of a long time ago, back when like blogging was very hot, long time ago, right? I used to churn out a lot of blogs. I would write a lot throughout a week, or videos, different things. I put them up there. And I remember there was one day where I created like a list of some kind. I think it was, top marketers to follow or something like that, like top 20 marketers or modern marketers, whatever it was. And guess what I did? I made this list. I put it up on my website, and then I told all 20 about it. And I didn't tell them, hey, you're on this list, please promote it. I didn't do anything like that. That'd be super sketchy, right? But I simply said, hey, I made this list. I just want to share it with you because, you're someone I look up to. And you'd be surprised how many of those people then went off and shared it, And it's an example of when you spend the time not just to create it and throw it up there, but you also reach out if you mention someone, or you do whatever you can to market and promote it. And that's the key thing when it comes to this. Now, we talked about this earlier, choosing more than 2 traffic strategies. That's a big no-no. You don't want to do that. You're going to go down the tubes. Trust us on that. Stick with 2 or even 1, okay? Because otherwise, again, you just can't get enough momentum when you get more than 2, okay? Shiny red ball syndrome. At this stage and every other stage, Marilyn, is that we start doing this. We choose our traffic strategies. We have our lead magnet. We know who our audience is. And then, ooh, shiny. We saw a YouTube video about something else. Ooh, shiny. We got distracted by this. So you just have to be aware of it, right? Just stick with it, especially if you're a very creative person. Sometimes you're like, oh, well, I want to try something new now. No, this is about putting in the work and time. That's the key in the stage when it comes to setting the foundation, okay? So shiny red ball syndrome, no thank you. Okay, now that wraps up the first stage. Now, before I start giving a preview of our next video, Marilyn, do you have anything else to add here for our first stage?
Now I'm stumped.
Or did I just covered it so well. We killed it.
You covered it really well. And look, it's honestly, write these things down. It's really simple. We make it way too complicated. And it really is a simple process if we stay focused on it. And remember, you're probably new to the online marketing world. So you're already an expert, or you know what you love and what you want to get out there and want to help people with. But it's the tricky bit that might, like marketing, it feels tricky to start with, but once you get into it, you realize it's just about getting to know your people. And it's very rewarding. So I'd say stick to what Uncle DSG says. It really does make the big difference.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Marilyn. And I think it's also one of those things is that, listen, we can innovate and get as creative as we want when we're making 6-7 figures. Do you know what I mean? Then we can start playing around, and then we can do all this stuff. But until then, let's stick to what we know works, right? That's the key to all this, right? So in the next video, we're going to hop to stage 2. And I've said this in the first video, but I want to reiterate this again. Doesn't matter what stage you're at. You're at stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Make sure to watch all the videos, because also we're going to give you some resources about implementation and some other things at the end of the 3 stages as well in the 4th video. So the next video that we're going to go to is going to be the 2nd stage, which is the pre-launch and launch stage, which is coming in the next video. So keep an eye out for that. This is, of course, is the free video series on where to focus your time, energy, and money to create a successful online course, regardless if you're just getting started, a seasoned pro, or somewhere in between. We will see you in the next video, which is video number 3. See ya.